It's a very short video to look at how to use the PeopleMaps Interview Pro personality reports when hiring. The first law of personality states that everything we say, think and do is affected by our personality. Every decision that we make is affected by our personality. This is why we consider personality and not just skills or experience when considering someone for a job role. The 8th law of personality, and there are 12 laws of personality, but the 8th law states there are some things that come to us naturally. When our environment requires these, we consider them strengths, and our strengths have no limits. Experience shows us that some personality types thrive in a given role while others struggle. Ideally, we want to hire people who can thrive in the roles and work environments that we are offering. We also know that the more compatible an individual finds the work environment to be with their personality, the longer they will remain in the job, which keeps staff turnover down. The PeopleMaps personality test is an effective psychometric test for recruitment. The personality questionnaire takes about 5 minutes to complete, and it may be done from anywhere, including a smartphone. The candidates do not even need to be supervised. The candidate only needs to complete the personality questionnaire once, even if you wish to read more than one report. Once an individual has completed the questionnaire and appears in the control room, you may open whichever report you want about the individual. And there's a huge range of Interview Pro reports to choose from, each one tailored to a specific job role. So find the report that is most closely resembles the job role that you're working with. Each report is written as an interview guide and is in plain English, so no specialist knowledge is required to use the reports in an interview. The reports contain the PeopleMaps personality gauges. Let's have a quick look at how to use the gauges. Each report has several gauges, sometimes as many as 20. Each gauge measures a very specific behaviour. In this case here, we're looking at the ability to cold call or to make calls under pressure. Now, a high score of 70 plus indicates that this is something that comes very naturally to the candidate. It's easy and it takes little energy. A low score, say less than 40, indicates that this is not something that comes easily to the candidate. Now remember, the gauges are not about whether someone can or can't do something, it's measuring their natural preferences. We can all turn it on for short periods if we have to. However, better to have a high score for something that has to be done every day, as it would become exhausting for the individual otherwise. It's recommended that you select up to 5 gauges that matter most to you for this role and prioritise on them. A quick look at the gauges in each report will let you prioritise your list of candidates, and this can be a huge time saver. If you've got many candidates to look at, then you can at least look at their gauges and quickly create a happy pile and a not so happy pile and prioritise your candidates. Interviewers should not hand over the report, the personality report, to the candidate at any time. This would really be counterproductive. It's not going to help the interview, it's not going to help the candidate. However, what you should do instead, you should actually read out extracts from the report and ask candidates if they agree with the statement. Use quotes from the report to get the candidate to willingly open up and talk in more detail. So it's not that you're keeping the report secret, you just need to share elements of it that you wish to talk about. There isn't enough time for a candidate to read all of the report and for both of you to talk about the whole report. That would take hours and hours to do that. Quote some gauges scores and ask the candidate if they agree with the score. If they disagree, ask for their alternative and for evidence to support their claim. So again, it's about getting the candidate to talk about something very specific. Each text topic includes an interview question to ask. Pick 2 or 3 of the topics and ask the questions during the interview. The report also tells you what to look for in their answers or why you're asking this question. Interviewers should also use the topic Ideal Interview Environment. This describes what the candidate ideally needs from a work environment. Use your own judgment as to whether this is similar to the actual work environment being offered. Interviewers should use the topic, how to create an ideal interview environment, to get candidates to relax and open up. So if you can make those small adjustments to the interview environment, you're more likely to get candidates to talk openly. It's also recommended that interviewers use the topic, how to inspire this candidate to take your job offer. It's easy to forget that candidates may have other options, and remember that you're actually trying to sell a job. Now, you should also know that about 20% of people are good at traditional job interviews. However, 80% of people are very poor at interviews. They represent themselves very poorly in their traditional interview. The report will help us hire the people who will be best at the job and guard against just hiring the better performers. It's very difficult to separate out good performers from potentially good at the job. So that's this very short video on how to use the PeopleMap's Interview Pro personality reports when hiring.